What do you think about JJ?
I mean, I don't feel completely comfortable evaluating like the schematics of the situation, but the results ain't been great. I think we were quick, and I trust the people who say it. Like, we were quick to say that like he understood the game. I think parachuting in and managing a roster like that is probably pretty hard. It's probably made easier by the fact that LeBron James is there and seemed to clearly be a supporter. So like getting that instant credibility is not as difficult. And he played for a long time, and he's smart basketball-wise. The in-game decisions were unique, like leaving them guys out there, which seemed to backfire. It's funny because, like, for basketball, much more than football, I rely on other people's, whom I trust, opinion, and a lot of them were defending JJ because the bench was not deep, and defending him because they made this crazy trade midseason and didn't have time to fill in other holes in their roster. So, like, I think he overachieved as far as expectations are concerned, but we don't care about expectations. You gotta, at a certain point, it's about what you produce.
He is not built to be a coach in a sport that plays 82 regular season games and then has playoff series. He's simply wound too tight. He stormed out of the press conference before the game, right? And if you've seen the clip, to be fair to JJ, I recognize what happened here. Little Buddy wanted to ask, I don't even know how young to do this. Let me not call him Little Buddy, but Buddy wanted to ask JJ a question about game 4 and JJ playing those guys all the way through the fourth quarter and whether he was leaning on his assistants for about whether to take guys in and out of the game. And what the dude needed to say to ask the question was, JJ, when you make decisions about substitutions, how much do you lean on your assistants in those times? But instead, he was like, hey, so, you know, you got the assistants there. And he stammered through it, right? And it's taken so long to get to the question that it's giving JJ enough time to ask a reasonable question. Is this motherfucker trying to play me? Like, why is this taking so long, right? Like you know, like, why are you so nervous, right? I know how this goes. We've been here in different places, and it gives JJ all the time in the world to be defensive, and then JJ comes with, are you asking that because I'm inexperienced? Is that what it is? Maybe. I don't know why that would, like, make it bad or whatever, but I don't even think JJ knew why he was mad other than, why is this taking so long? You must be trying to play me. But at the same time, JJ was on ESPN for that year or two, right? Mm-hmm. And what really got people charged up about him is that he was getting up there and he was sassing Stephen A. Smith. And he would get up there and he would sass Kendrick Perkins. People that many viewers would love to see get sassed by somebody, let alone this particular guy, right? Now, it's funny because this is a guy that we all, not all, but most of us got introduced to in a context that led to hating him. I actually liked him when he was in college, but most people, I mean, a plurality of the population, I would say, hated JJ Redick. But once he was up there sassing people like the ones I told you about, hey, it wasn't so bad. And then he goes on TV and he's talking to Chris Russo and he's breaking bad with him, which is another person, especially younger folks on the internet, have their issues with. And so JJ became their hero. And I remember somebody was writing a story about him. Maybe it was from the New Yorker, and the woman who was writing it sounded like a younger woman. And she called me to talk about JJ, and I was listening to her, and I was just kind of like, I don't think we've spelled out here. I don't really know if he's smashing atoms like you think he is, man. Like, I don't think he's doing anything that, and I say this as somebody who likes him as a TV personality, but his game is not being warm and cuddly and likable. His game is being a jerk. It's just a matter of whether or not it's the jerk that you like. Mm-hmm. That is not a persona that works well as the public face of an NBA franchise. That doesn't work. And so now you get up there and you get defensive and you storming out of stuff before games. And it's clear during the games, you're getting all wound up and you're a little bit too tight. And then you start breaking bad with the media. And media, that's elephants, boy. Their memories is long and they don't ever have to let up on you, especially not after you lose in the first round. What in this cycle changes? Yeah. Nothing in this cycle changes, right? So either he is going to figure out how to deal with people better, or he will not be long for this job, no matter how good he is at it. Because a big part of this job is not just about winning games. It's how you hold it down when you don't.
That's absolutely true. Particularly, I mean, in any sports with long seasons, like I think the job of a head coach becomes a little bit more of psychologist and team leader. Like it's different than the X and O schematics. Like I have no reason to believe that he's not capable of understanding what changes need to be made on the court. Implementing those changes requires some level of buy-in from the constituents that are on your side. And when those changes fail, it requires some level of support from the people who are reviewing this. And I think understanding that is a hard thing, I think, for some athletes to come around to appreciate is other things matter other than the scoreboard. And they may not matter till they matter. And then when they matter, it's up.
And look, it was roster problems. Like this we knew this when they made the trade, though. I think they exceeded most of our expectations after they got Luka, especially after they started playing really good defense.
Yep.
But we knew that this roster was going to have those issues. But if you JJ, hey man, when you decide that you're not going to sub nobody in the whole fourth quarter, for example, you got to know that people are going to wonder about that. And you got to be, and by the way, reasonably. Nobody's ever done this but you, big brain. Right? People are going to be like, hey, big brain, could you explain to me why it is that you didn't think that old man would get tired? Because they looked tired in game 5.
They did.
They those guys, when I saw he put them same dudes out there to start the game, I was just like, damn, JJ is not backing down on any of this. And Jackson Hayes is over there probably wearing church socks. He know he ain't getting in the game. And then he broke out Maxi Kleber.
Yeah.
Right? I forgot he was on the team. I only broke him out for 5 minutes, but it was still just kind of like, hey, man, you got to know when you're doing things that people don't quite understand. You got to be cool about talking about it. But I just think he's wound real tight. It's not that he's a bad dude. You watch the podcast and hear him talk to people. Like he knows how to be relatable and warm and those things with people that he feels deserve his respect. But you got to learn how to talk to the people that you don't think deserve your respect.
Well, I mean, those people deserve respect. Thing. Like whether you think they do or not, you need to get to a point to where you think they do. It's not you pretending. But it's a tough. No, I mean, next year's a big year for him and Luka. I would assume how this pans out, and LeBron, whatever leverage he has there, it feels like it's dwindling some. Maybe not, but it certainly feels like the decision maker, the power that he had before, is not the power that he has going forward. And maybe getting JJ in there was one of his last influential decisions.
LeBron can opt out of his contract and become a free agent. Usually, someone like him will do that. He has done some opt-in before, but you opt out so you can go get some more bread, right? Totally understand it. But let's look at the Lakers for a second. And let's say LeBron opts out. And I know that the LeBron stands are on their way for what I'm saying. But I'm really asking this as a question because I think it's a bind the Lakers are in and a bind that just about every other team is in, which is you got 2 max guys. Now what? Right? How exactly do you go about putting the team together? You've made the decision that you're going to build around Luka Doncic. Is LeBron at that age the right guy to be the one that you give all the money to build around? So I'm not saying the Lakers should or should not bring LeBron back, but let's say he opted out and they said, thanks for the memories. Do you go home? Do you let the Lakers end your career? Probably not. What do you do then? And how comfortable are you getting in the business of 40, soon to be 41-year-old LeBron James?
So no more max deal, man. That's all it comes down to for me is
I guess that is an option.
No matter where you go, I feel like for what LeBron is going to provide, presumably he wants to win championships. Well, maybe he doesn't. Maybe that's not in his strategy anymore. Maybe he recognizes that trying to catch Jordan or catch Kobe or whoever doesn't matter to his legacy, or maybe it doesn't matter to him. And he wants to cash out and go have fun or whatever somewhere else. Right. That's possible. If LeBron wants to win a championship, he's not a max guy, not in this current like second apron world, right? That's what it comes down to, right? We watch these games.
Second team All NBA this year.
He's great. He's incredibly talented, but you watch the games, right? I mean, did you see somebody who's a number 2 on a championship team?
I did not, but is that the standard for a max salary in the NBA? And I guess maybe this becomes the question of what does a max salary in the NBA become? Who becomes the worthy recipient because of how the handcuffing that comes from having that big salary? Because I will say this about the Lakers. It is hard for me to see a world where LeBron opts out and they don't try to bring him back. Like, I think that there's an importance to them of LeBron retiring as a Laker. And if it does not end well with LeBron and the Lakers, he will just go be a Cleveland Cavalier for the rest of his life. Right? Like, I think the Lakers like the idea of great, all these all-time great players they've had seeing themselves as Lakers. And I think LeBron, in the end, he wanted to play for a legacy franchise, right? He wants that. But don't think for a second he won't chuck a deuce on you. Ask the Miami Heat. It didn't end the way he wanted, and it's like it never happened. However, that is a building and a city full of Kobe stands. And they don't ever actually stop being Kobe stands. Right. This is a thing that Luka needs to watch out for, too, because, I mean, the defining characteristic of Nico Harrison is being a Kobe stan and his belief in Mamba mentality and all that stuff. Luka offended that. So you got Kobe's old agent. You got Jeannie Buss and all these Lakers people who look at Kobe as literally their son. Mm-hmm. And you got this dude that's out here not in the right shape, being lazy. Like, how much you think they're going to be cool with that? And with LeBron, they Kobe stans. And so how this goes from here, I think, is going to be really interesting because I don't know what's best for them, and I can't say what's best for LeBron. I've been on record saying I wish LeBron would have retired like 3 or 4 years ago. And it's not because he can't play. I just don't need to watch it no more, right? Like there's people, you know how it goes sometimes. You got a rapper or something, you just stop listening to their albums one day, right? Not you don't like them no more. You just don't want to hear no more of their tapes.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess this whole, and maybe this is the modern apron situation making it so you can't hold on to guys for as long, but I was trying to think of a time where it worked for a guy, but I guess we've never had anyone this late in their career as LeBron, where it worked that they went and played a role on a championship team and ate up a huge portion of the salary. Like, that's just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean it can happen, and if anyone could do it, LeBron, he seems to be defying time, but it seems like he can give you flashes. He can't give it consistency. And that's one thing about the NBA playoffs is it's a whole nother season. And so I just don't have, I'm having a real hard time imagining a scenario where I guess maybe it all looks different if they get a rim running center that can protect the basket. Maybe we get a different level of effort from LeBron because we're not taxing him on defense as much. I just have a hard time imagining a situation where the second best player is LeBron and the first best player is Luka, and they win a championship.
I agree with you also on that. Like, I don't know what anybody's supposed to do. Like, I don't have a great answer for where this team or any team, but like, if they can go get a rim running center, like, you just can't go on Amazon.
Yeah.
Those aren't that easy to find.
It seems easy, but Jackson Hayes, big, athletic, can't do it.
Can't do it.
It's obviously not as easy as it seems because I have a hard time when I'm watching these big guys. Like, all you got to do is set a screen and run to the hoop. The hard part was being 7 feet. You did that.
You know who they need to ask? You know who got a rim running center or two actually that maybe they should inquire about? The Dallas Mavericks. Hey, if you spot Nico as the mark at this point,
yeah,
right? You might as well see what else you can do.